They are one of the most romanticized couples in American history, but their lives, their marriage, always hidden behind the curtains of Camelot.
Life with him was always so fast that it isn't until you look back that you see what happened when.
Now, for the first time, from the tapes, we know what she thought when she first met him.
Jack was young and loved, everything.
It was a dinner party. She was a photographer for the society pages of a newspaper. She was dazzled by him.
Jack was the most unself-conscious person I've ever seen. He just naturally could be attractive in a crowd or a room.
Their daughter, Jacqueline Kennedy. Is there one phrase in the whole tapes that you think about the most?
Well, probably when she says of the White House, these were our happiest times.
It's funny, I used to worry about going into the White House. It'll be a goldfish bowl, the Secret Service, I'll never see my husband. Then you found out that, it was really the happiest time of my life. It was when we were the closest.
After all, she arrived at the White House an unlikely political wife, refined sensibilities, a love of privacy. No one thought she was an asset.
I was always a liability to him. Everyone thought I was a snob from Newport who had bouffant hair and had French clothes and hated politics. He knew I was being myself and that I did like to stay in the background. I think he appreciated that in a wife. And he married me really for the things I was.
Beautiful, gracious, and an ardent student of history. Together, they read about all the great civilizations and dreamed of changes in America. And she says on the tapes, he loved that most of all, she was devoted to making him happy.
Jack, I think a woman always adapts, and especially if you're very young when you get married and, are unformed, you really become the kind of wife that you can see that your husband wants.
She says if she couldn't help him on politics, she could keep harmony at home.
I think it's so good to be able to forgive quickly. I know that that's a quality that Jack liked in me being married, that if ever there'd be a slight little, cloud, I'd always be I'd rush and say, oh dear, did I upset you? Did I say something wrong? Or I'm so sorry. And he loved that.
She tried not to ask questions about the troubles of the day, but remembers one time she asked about Vietnam.
It was at the end of the day, and he said, oh my God. He said, I've had that, on me all day, and he'd just been swimming at the pool and sort of changed into his happy evening mood. And he said, don't remind me of that all over again. And I just felt so criminal. And I decided everyone should be trying to help Jack in whatever way they could.
And remember, it is 1964, still someplace between the traditions of the past and the independence of the future. On the tapes, in her famously breathy voice, she tries to analyze different kinds of women.
This is just my own sort of psychology. But the Jack so obviously demanded from a woman a relationship between a man and a woman, where a man would be the leader and a woman would be his wife and look up to him as a man. I always thought women who were scared of sex loved Adelaide.
She's talking about the women who criticized her husband and supported Democrat Adlai Stevenson, who ran for president and lost.
The challenge was
involved. Not that there'd be the challenge with Jack, but it was a different kind of man. So, all these sort of twisted, poor little women whose lives hadn't worked out could find a bomb in Adelaide, and Jack made them nervous. Someone said, where do you get your opinions? And I said, I get all my opinions from my husband, which is true. How could I have any political opinions? His were going to be the best. It was really a rather terribly Victorian or Asiatic relationship which we had, which I think
the Japanese wife.
Yeah, which I think's the best.
But the woman who started out so shy would ultimately find her voice.
We should cherish a language and an emotion that unite us all.
Dazzling other countries in the world on behalf of America, becoming one of the political stars.
I am the man who accompanied Jacqueline Kennedy to Paris, and I've enjoyed it.
I think that as she became a greater and greater asset as in the world, as well as that they became closer.
Do you think it surprised him how she emerged in the White House? Suddenly?
I think it surprised her.
I rather love this hall. It's down. Oh, the White House television tour he used to watch all the time. He was so sweet the way he was proud of me. Suddenly everything that'd been a liability before. Then when we got in the White House, all the things that I'd always done suddenly became wonderful. And I was so happy for Jack that he could be proud of me then. So those were our happiest years.
In the years to come, the rest of us would read about other women, wonder about this marriage. She makes it clear the two of them lived for their children and each other. Was she happy?
Well, I think she really was happy, and I think she really was, she loved my father, and I think she knew that he loved her.
The book, Jacqueline Kennedy, Historic Conversations on Life with John F. Kennedy, comes out tomorrow.